A peaceful hike turned into an exhilarating adventure when we stumbled upon unexpected wildlife. My friend Sarah and I decided to spend a sunny Saturday hiking in a nearby national park. We packed some snacks, filled our water bottles, and set off on a popular trail known for its scenic views. A couple of hours into our hike, we reached a serene clearing with a small, picturesque pond. As we sat down to rest and enjoy the view, we heard rustling in the bushes nearby. Expecting a squirrel or a rabbit, we were stunned to see a family of deer emerging from the foliage. We stayed perfectly still, watching in awe as the deer cautiously approached the pond for a drink. It was a beautiful, almost magical moment. Just as we thought the experience couldn't get any better, a small fox darted out from the trees, joining the deer at the water's edge. Sarah and I exchanged excited glances, feeling like we were in a nature documentary. We spent several minutes quietly observing the animals before they eventually wandered back into the forest. The unexpected wildlife encounter made our hike unforgettable. It reminded us of the beauty and wonder of nature and the joy of experiencing something so rare and special together. We accepted, and the rest of the night was a blast. The comedians were down to earth and shared funny behind-the-scenes stories. One of them even invited us to an open mic night where amateur comedians could try their hand at stand-up. The comedy club mix-up turned into an unforgettable night of laughs and new connections. It reminded us of the joy of live entertainment and the unexpected surprises that can turn a regular night out into an extraordinary experience. A quick drive to the grocery store turned into an all-day road trip adventure when we got hopelessly lost. My friend and I decided to drive to a new grocery store a few towns over to check out their selection. We set off with the GPS guiding us, but halfway there, the GPS lost signal, and we took a wrong turn. Before we knew it, we were hopelessly lost in the countryside. Instead of panicking, we decided to embrace the adventure. We drove through picturesque small towns, stopped at roadside diners, and even visited a quirky local museum we stumbled upon. We laughed at our misfortune and enjoyed the unexpected sights along the way. As the day turned to evening, we finally found our way back to the main road. Exhausted but happy, we eventually made it to the grocery store, just as it was closing. We couldn't help but laugh at the irony. The unexpected road trip turned out to be one of the best days we'd had in a long time. It reminded us of the joy of spontaneity and the beauty of finding adventure in the most unexpected places. Our new neighbor's mysterious behavior sparked a hilarious and heartwarming investigation. A new neighbor moved into the house next door, and their strange behavior quickly became the talk of the neighborhood. They only came out at night, always wore sunglasses, and never spoke to anyone. Naturally, our curiosity got the better of us. My friends and I decided to play detective. We took turns watching from our windows, noting their comings and goings. One night, we saw them digging in the backyard under the cover of darkness. Convinced they were hiding something, we decided to investigate further. Armed with flashlights and our sense of adventure, we sneaked into the yard when they weren't home. What we found surprised us: a garden filled with night-blooming flowers and solar-powered lights. Our mysterious neighbor was an avid gardener who worked night shifts and tended to their garden in the evening. Feeling embarrassed about our assumptions, we decided to introduce ourselves properly. To our surprise, our neighbor turned out to be a friendly and fascinating person who appreciated the night's tranquility. They invited us to join them for a late-night garden party, and we spent the evening learning about their unique plants and sharing stories. Our initial investigation turned into a heartwarming friendship. It reminded us not to judge too quickly and to embrace the unexpected friendships that life offers. What was supposed to be a simple cake-baking session turned into a hilarious disaster in the kitchen. My best friend and I decided to bake a cake for a mutual friend's birthday. Neither of us were expert bakers, but we figured it couldn't be that hard. Armed with a recipe and boundless enthusiasm, we set off to create a masterpiece. The trouble began when we misread the recipe and added twice the amount of baking powder. The batter bubbled over in the oven, creating a smoky, charred mess. Undeterred, we decided to start over. This time, we accidentally used salt instead of sugar, resulting in a cake that tasted like seawater. On our third attempt, everything seemed to be going smoothly until we tried to frost the cake. We didn't wait for it to cool properly, so the frosting melted and slid off in globs, creating a sticky disaster. We ended up with a lopsided, patchy cake that looked more like modern art than a birthday treat. Despite the fiasco, our friend loved the cake. We all had a good laugh over the disaster, and the imperfect cake became a symbol of our friendship, messy, chaotic, but full of love and laughter. A mix-up at a comedy club led to an unforgettable night of laughs and unexpected connections. My friends and I decided to check out a new comedy club in town. We bought tickets online, excited for a night of laughter. When we arrived, we were surprised to find ourselves seated in the front row. Apparently, our online reservation had somehow upgraded us to VIP seats. As the show began, the comedians started interacting with the audience, and being in the front row made us prime targets for their jokes. One comedian asked me my name and turned it into a running gag throughout his set. At first I was nervous, but his humor was so infectious that I found myself laughing along with everyone else. During intermission, the club's manager approached us and explained that there had been a mix-up with our tickets. To make up for it, he offered us free drinks and invited us to meet the comedians after the show. We accepted, and the rest of the night was a blast. The comedians were down to earth and shared funny behind-the-scenes stories. One of them even invited us to an open mic night where amateur comedians could try their hand at stand-up. The comedy club mix-up turned into an unforgettable night of laughs and new connections. It reminded us of the joy of live entertainment and the unexpected surprises that can turn a regular night out into an extraordinary experience.